Did anyone feel like Hiki right now? Because that's how I felt like after this chapter. It's rather amazing on how a chapter that was nothing but an announcement of who's leading who can be monumentally engaging to read through. Kingdom has always demonstrated that a chapter like this can spring out a ton of hype even before the massive battle. It's not just because we know who they are, rather the way the chapter structure creates much anticipation as we sit through wondering who is going to be the Supreme Commander. The chapter started off with a lot of anticipation for us and the characters on the foreground. The hype was already accelerating as thousands and thousands of men marching down. The atmosphere was so tense. It was actually growing tough to read because the moment of truth felt significant. It was at this point my heart was pounding with excitement, like I was waiting to know if I passed the final exam that would lead to my graduation. The characters in Shin's army built a lot of expectation, from describing on Shin being silenced after the meeting, as well as on how everyone in the field are anxious to know who is going to be in charge of the master plan. Once Shohei Ken steps in, the moment of truth was ready to be announced, as the atmosphere has everyone frozen with fear. After all, the plan is considered suicidal. However, he steps in to encourage everyone that they will be triumphant as everyone roars with cheer. It was a good call to ease down the fear, though the next anticipation will be on who is in charge. Pages before the announcement brought a lot of chills. The I was thought to believe that Kanki was in charge, though I was ready to say, "Ha! I called it." The reaction was of course no approval, but they did bring a good point due to his recent success, so they have no choice but to accept that he's the general. That said, he wasn't the supreme commander, so I was somewhat relieved, though that may be my fault on not thinking ahead. I would credit to the writing format for having me incredibly invested. I was awestruck to see Yotanwa to be the general in this mission, which I can't wait to see in action, especially on how she has been showing incredibly strong presence even without having her doing all the action. I gotta say, Hiki's reaction was so hilarious. The execution was spot on that got me rolling. Well, the best of luck to him. The reaction from Shin's army was more of a maze due to the fact that they are new recruits that have little knowledge of their present. At first I thought it didn't make sense because they have met them before, but the consistent writing has the new recruit being awestruck. Outside the last part of the chapter, the highlight to me was a sincere scene from Shin to Mountain Tribe's warrior. It was well highlighted to see Shin with Banjio and Tajifu reunited like great friends. The development was profound since their first interaction. I love these guys. Tajifu has learned to speak their language more or less, but you can't help but adore this development. I was getting a bit teary. It was a very nice reunion scene. The presentation was really good as it captured the atmosphere of anticipation. The structure of each page leaves you hanging to see who is the supreme commander or even the general, yet it somewhat can have you feeling worried to see who. It had me a bit afraid to see, so the hype was no doubt very strong, but that's the beauty of the series. The tension was so strong that a simple character can shoot tons of hype. The Supreme Commander turns out to be Osen, who was my second pick, so I was close. That shot with him and his army felt tense. That said, these three leaders sent out a tons of hype for this arc, as we can not only see great action from them, but a lot of developments as well. We officially have a made army. It's almost time for the epic proportion that we will be leaving breathless. This was a very gripping chapter that has me grasping for air. Thanks to well-structured use of the chapter format, the hype to learn about the leaders is over, but it left the meter to the hype of the grand battle. As of now, it's incredibly high enough for us to want to skip time and see what's in store. I'm giving this chapter an 8. We're almost at the 500 chapter mark, so you can bet that Hara has something great in store for us, especially now. We're about to set off to the epic battle. It could be just a normal chapter, which I wouldn't mind at all. There are a lot of expectations with this setup, whether it will meet them or surpass them, and I believe the latter will occur. My thoughts are told. Don't let yours on hold. Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care. I cannot wait for the next battle. It's going to be epic next week for the next chapter. And wait, we're in a 2-week break?